Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another night of Overwatch. Today we have UCEA Overwatch with Augustana University versus St. Clair College. I'm Amanda Commanda Dupuy, and I'm here with Dan Banner Broadcast Banners. How are you doing today, Dan?
It is definitely good to be here, having a good day overall, and it looks like, as you could probably hear in the background, they're not going to give us much time to do ourselves an intro, as Augustana and St. Clair looking to get started right away. Busan is going to be map number 1, so of course, control point style to start things off, like the majority of the season has been, but best of 3 instead of best of 5 in UCA Overwatch League. What do you think we're going to see here for Busan specifically as we hop on in?
I don't know much about Augustana University, but on Busan we do see a lot of dive, and as I say that, it looks like we're gonna see a Reinhardt on the side of Augustana, and a Ryan Zarya actually, but our St. Clair Saints are gonna stick to their brawl dive comp that they usually do.
This has been a little bit successful for them overall so far in the past couple of matchups. And we'll have to see if that goes through again here. As of course, your starting roster for St. Clair is Apostle and Justin on support, Seymour and Prince Wada on tank, and Strider and Bailable on the DPS.
Looks like Justin's just trying to top up his team here. Apostle, as always, trying to get a little bit of that poke damage as Lucio. Bailable trying to get a little snipe early. But Augustana is playing very close together, trying to have like a impenetrable wall between them and St. Clair. But it looks like St. Clair is trying to break that, and they do. Prince Wada takes out Blackout, although Superb does DMAX Seymour.
It's definitely a bit of a rough spot here now that St. Clair, they got onto the point, but the sound barrier came out right in time here for Harvical on the side of Augustana University, and it really put St. Clair in for a loop. Seymour was able to get his mech back just in time. Bailable in the backlines was actually able to get a couple snipes off as well. So it looks like a fight that was going to go into the favor of Augustana. St. Clair turned that one right around, and they're going to start building some percent here.
Oh, Seymour got slept there, and I don't think he was expecting that at all, because I wasn't.
Yeah, you think you're safe up on the building? Not quite.
Exactly. As an Ana main, we can always see you.
You definitely have to, considering how squishy and immobile that hero is. But as we see, a huge EMP that gets everybody. 6 players gone. You wanted to have a shield? Not today. Completely melted, and all they need to blow extra was just Justin's Coalescence. And let's be honest, that ult comes on off of cooldown like every 30 seconds, it feels like. So
Exactly.
not a very huge resource gone, but that was a crazy team wipe.
Blink and you miss it. My goodness.
I didn't even
Bailable
see
trying to
Strider.
get something. Yeah. Bailable trying to get something to work with here. Any sort of pick at the beginning of the fight. It's not quite finding it, although he does hit Ana. Takes out Blackout on the Ana. Can he get another? Looks like he's trying to go for that McCree.
Yeah, taking out the support there with Blackout going down nice and quick might have definitely stalled out this attack. However, Dad trying to make something happen here with the Deadeye. Took out Seymour. We do see Prince Wada diving on in this corridor. This is a rough spot to try and deal with a Primal Raged Monkey, as Wada going to be able to get himself out of here, get topped off, and St. Clair are going to continue to hold as Augustana having a hard time finding a way around.
Augustana needs a touch in these last 20% left, or else the first round will go to St. Clair. Looks like they have the same strategy. They're gonna come up on the left there, being wary of the Lucio, and that was Layden with the Death Blossom. My bad. They're trying to take the point from St. Clair. It looks like they're able to force off Seymour and demech him. Justin kind of out of position right now. Seymour killed by Layden. Bailable is backing up, so I think that's going to go to Augustana.
I mean, sometimes you just got to brute force it, and that's essentially what we saw there from Augustana. Was successful, however, we're probably going to see the same combination right around the corner here. Strider, we're right along with him here, has that EMP on deck, ready to go. He could probably even just walk right in, and he's in fact going to do so.
Huge!
Yeah, absolutely huge, as 5 members from the side of Augustana are not going to be able to protect themselves with any abilities for at least a little while. The Shatter attempt eventually came out from Big Hug, but it's not going to be enough. This is going to get flipped right back over. Overtime going to tick down. No one's going to be able to touch this. Just to make sure they come for a little extra defense anyway. Not going to happen.
Strider is absolutely deadly on that Sombra. He has EMP on cooldown, I swear.
I mean, how many times, even in the last matchup that we did cast a little while ago, he was playing Echo, but even still, he wanted that Sombra, so he ulted to become a Sombra and make sure that he can have his EMP. Definitely fantastic on that hero.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, this started so quickly I didn't get a chance to take a look at our Augustana University squad. Their starting lineup. Superb is a tank. Arvical is a support. Blackout on support. Dad is the DPS. Layden DPS. Vanilla Big Hug, the other tank on the side of Augustana.
Kind of ironic that Dad is playing Soldier, as it's kind of a meme that Soldier is like the dad of Overwatch.
Yes. If he's role playing, he's doing it correctly.
Available on the Echo again this time. I don't know if we've seen a whole lot of his Echo this season so far, but it could be interesting. I know personally that's one of his favorite heroes to play, so it might be cool to see some of that.
And then something a little bit different. Wada is not on one of his regular tanks. This is a Wrecking Ball here for Prince Wada, and he's making it work. It's extremely annoying here for the side of Augustana, and what's even more annoying here is the extra little thorn on their side. Of course, Strider, he's used to being invisible, now Hapo just not being able to catch or get caught anyway with the crazy mobility that we see, to the point where even Strider just blows himself up taking out Dad. But could be worth in the end if this fight gets extended to the point where the rest of the Saints are here for backup. But Blackup finds himself onto the kill feed as Baleable going to try and keep poking from the side. Nobody is successfully able to take this down. That beam to execute the bonus damage coming out here from Baleable's Echo. Coming in clutch. There's a couple low health bars on the side of Augustana. This could get flipped around quickly as both teams are kind of staggering themselves here.
Justin's trying to get revenge for his Reaper by killing the enemy Reaper.
There it goes.
And Layden goes down. Justin just kind of peeking here and there. Wow, that's a huge grab. Got everybody who was left on the point. Can the Saints pick everybody off right now so they can cap? And it looks like they're going to try.
Baleable got caught up in the skies, however, so now Dad on the high ground falls down with that tactical visor ready. So basically aim hacks for every one of his shots, just charges right through. That being said, if anything, I'm seeing a lot of St. Clair on the kill feed until Dad finds that last one. Prince Wada still on hot pursuit. In this meantime, Augustana was able to actually capture that point, so there is some percent building down. In fact, they're already halfway through this game. That must have snuck under my nose. Nice little steal there for Augustana.
Not used to seeing Prince Wada not on Reinhardt. It looks like he went right back to Reinhardt as I say that.
There we go. Back home. The main character, point blank, as Big Hug does have the Shatter. It's going to be an emergency Shatter. It is, but it's actually going to be effective as it did take down Strider. And here comes the Death Blossom once again. Layden going to get taken down actually though. Strider finding that one, making this McCree work so far. Point blank almost with Dad, trying to find the headshot necessary to take him down, but not able to do so. But actually does find Dad eventually, and Apostle. The support coming in for a little extra DPS, helping the rest of the squad here top off on heals and find himself on the kill feed as well.
Wow, St. Clair turned it around right at the end there. Thought that Augustana would have this point, but it looks like St. Clair said, no, not yet. We're not ready to go down without a fight. And they just took point, and they're trying to keep it for good this time.
Now, the last time Seymour had a Graviton, he got a ton of members in there, but can somebody follow up this time?
No.
This is a very awkward angle. They're going to try it anyway, but the shields coming out from Big Hug was enough. This bomb might actually cause some damage. It's going to find Apostle. This play did not work in St. Clair's favor in the slightest. Justin trying to salvage this play, but everybody from St. Clair seems to be dropping. The Deadeye possibly, if they get a little overextended, not going to find a kill, unfortunately, for Strider. Nothing but Superb's mech And it's going to be flipped back over, 90% and counting. Augustana looking to get their first point here for game number 1.
If St. Clair cannot touch in the next... Oh, they do touch. They must be careful as they are in overtime now. So Available trying to touch, although Dad popped Visor.
Yeah, one way to deal, of course, with that Tracer being so dang quick is just add the aim hacks from that Tactical Visor, and Layden is going to clean this up. So Augustana, after a little bit of an awkward, rough-looking first round here on Busan, they really brought it back this time. They snuck that point in while that very extended, staggered team fight was going on, and just they let it go once, but then just cleaned it right back up after a bit of a misplay with the high ground, where they tried to push for a Graviton play, but between the wall and the shield of Big Hug, there was nothing that could be done.
That's the thing with a risky play like what St. Clair did with the grab on the inside of the door there. It kind of cost them that last part of the game, trying out that risky play. It could have paid off huge and they could have wiped everybody, or in that situation they kind of got rolled and pushed back to spawn.
Yeah, like everything just got negated. Solid job there from, it would have been Superb and Big Hug for blocking all of that. And the rest of the team were just able to keep on pushing. I know Harvical also had that Coalescence in that fight, just doing a ton of value regards healing and damage. Now, this is a pretty clumped up area. We see Wada, actually the first one to dive in. Apostle going to find Dad. That's a pretty solid pick to start this one off. Available as well, getting himself on the board, taking down the fellow Reaper in Layden, and they may be able to turn towards this pagoda and secure this point. In fact, they're going to do so. They're going to be building percent.
Looks like Augustana is rushing to regroup. They're very good at grouping up and sticking together. St. Clair is having a little bit of trouble trying to break that tank line, but it seems like when they do, they could just push right through. So their tank line is very, very strong, very effective, so St. Clair has to make sure to break through and to make sure they don't cap point. Harvical does get hacked, though, by Strider. And Apostle... No, sorry, that was Layden with the pick on Available.
A little bit of a revenge shot there. Now Layden seems to be the one who's going to town here on this St. Clair squad. Strider going to try and barely hang on. But Yussin with the Coalescence. And now the EMP on top of this. Are they overextending themselves? I feel like they very well might be here, but they're going to be able to hang on to this point for at least a little bit longer. Regardless, we do see Seymour getting demeched, and you're going point blank with the hammer of Big Hugs Reinhardt. I don't think that's going to be successful. And sure enough, St. Clair are going to get it to 50%, just a little bit over. But now they are on the attack once again.
That's all good. Sometimes it's worth it to let the point go to the enemy team and to push back as a full 6. It looks like St. Clair is just kind of regrouping here, getting some heals, and they have a few ults at their disposal. We might see that come out this fight. There's Beat, there's Bomb, there is Primal Rage, and Death Blossom at their disposal. It looks like Seymour's gonna pop it.
Yeah, just launches it in, but it wasn't necessarily timed with the EMP. So now it's going to be a little bit messy. We do see Layden coming in with his first Death Blossom. Not going to find its mark. Dad with the Tactical Visor as well. Available also has it. He's going to give it a shot. Can he find the kills he needs? He's sitting right under the defense matrix from Superb, however. But it does not matter. If they all focused on Available, then everybody else just cleaned up. And how St. Clair going to get this point once again?
Available tends to surprise me. It's just when seems like he's laying low one fight, he pops off in a really fancy way.
Well, it's funny sometimes when the defense can, or not the defense, but the DPS can inadvertently find themselves as a tank in a sense when they steal all the focus away from the other team. But that's a solid shatter coming out here from Big Hug that got at least 3 members, and then alongside the Coalescence, St. Clair is getting wiped without question. Easy peasy here for Augustana. They made that one look extremely simple.
St. Clair needs to regroup here so they can get good value out of Strider's EMP, which I'm guessing they're going to use this fight for the next push. Strider's EMPs have not failed them yet, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work this time. However, Augustana does like to play fairly grouped up, so that is an advantage that he has in this situation. And he pops it and gets everybody. Huge EMP.
Absolutely smokes him with all 6. It's going to force Layden to just get an extremely late positional disadvantage there, rather, as that Wraithwalk was not available, and he was not able to keep going until now, but he's going to get hacked again anyway. And so far, St. Clair with 2 kills on the board. They're going to try and keep pushing this forward and reinforce it with both of their support ultimates as well. Diva Bomb up in the skies. Can they get out of range of this? They're going to be A-OK. Strider actually finding Superb before he could get back into his mech. So it's getting pretty close to overtime. Someone's got to touch.
When Strider gets that EMP, all hell breaks loose.
Definitely seems to be the case. Now, Blackout charges in, Layden. We're going to have just a Beyblade battle apparently here right on the control point, and it looks like Beyblade knocks him out of the arena as everybody from the side of Augustana seems to be dropping all up to Harvicle. That's a team wipe, and that's going to be game number 1 going to St. Clair College.
That was very surprising at the end there. The Beyblade battle going on with the 2 Reapers. All the alts coming out. It looked like Augustana was going to be able to hold that point, but St. Clair, they're like, nope, this is our point. And took it back.
And then this one is definitely play of the game. This got everybody, and it's such a close-knit corridor that you just get absolutely melted. That was an extremely fast team wipe. Beautifully done there.
Absolutely beautiful EMP. Like, that's textbook perfect EMP right there.
Absolutely. That's the one that the Sombra mains dream about, to say the least. Says, oh, okay, there we go. I thought we were frozen for a second. But game 1 looked rather convincing for St. Clair, or rather, round 1 of game 1 looked convincing for St. Clair. Round 2, however, Augustana really started coming around, and that last one, that was actually a really good game. That was back and forth. It's the kind of matchup I like to see, but just something did not go in the favor of Augustana. I don't know if it was just an ultimate that gone awry or what. They weren't doing too bad. We saw it was a Big Hug find some solid shatters, snagging maybe 3 to 4 players on the side of St. Clair. And when they were able to connect those team fights turned in their favor big time. However, just were not able to hang on to it at the end of the day.
Looks like Augustana might be able to have the advantage on the next map, which I do believe is Escort.
Going to be Escort, and it's going to be Rialto, it looks like.
I think they'll have the advantage because they play so close together, so tight-knit, that when they're on the payload, they won't be able to get off the payload because St. Clair won't be able to push them off.
And this is what I like to see. We're also not going to be waiting any time. No breaks this time. St. Clair are going to be, I believe, on the attack first, question mark. I will have to confirm that momentarily. But the last time we see St. Clair on this map, it didn't look too good for their opponents. I think the cart basically just got right here, and that was it. It was another one of these maps that feel like it's either a 3-0 or nothing. And it is actually going to be Augustana on attack first, so I was wrong in regards to who is first. I will have to see what happens. We see Strider on the Echo, but there's no Sombra at alt. Feels bad, man.
No. So Sombra could have been very useful here with Augustana on attack since, like I said, they have a very tight-knit defense. Their tank line is very strong, so I thought we were going to see a Sombra to hack to get into that defense. But who knows? Maybe they have a little trick up their sleeve. It looks like Strider is on Echo this time. So who knows what they're planning? Although we do have available on Torb.
This is exactly what we saw last time when we were here too with the Torbjorn pick. It's still taken me a little bit of a long time to realize that Torb is not just a troll pick. He's actually good in certain situations. And especially since he's getting boosted here by Apostle on occasion. That's just even scarier to even think about. Strider going to be taking some heat pretty early, but very similar to a pharmacy combo. Apostle can just fly alongside Strider if need be. That's a solid purple coming out of Justin as well. If St. Clair are going to be able to follow up on it, they're going to charge through, but kind of force backwards. In fact, Pertswada's going to drop.
Wow, Justin is landing anti after anti here. Superb going to dive into Strider trying to stop him. looks like he's gonna demech him and just try to get another pick here on his way out as he's forced to kind of back up and regroup.
Yeah, unfortunately, Prince Wada going down rather quickly there did not go too well for St. Clair. This cart is going to get pretty close to the point. Prince Wada might be able to contest on time. We do have 3 ults available, including the Molten Core, if Dibble gets there on time. And actually, this is going to be the nano-boosted, cloned Reinhardt. Shatter takes down 2. That's one way to do it. That is absolutely devastating. And then if there's anybody trying to get cute and push the cart, that's where Baleable was with the Molten Core. The floor is lava. Literally, you can't do anything about it. That's a team wipe.
That was horrifying. Having 2 Reinhardts against you, one of them is nanoed, and a Torbjorn using more Molten Core.
That was definitely messy to keep track of for us in the commentary booth, let alone if you're on the ground floor competing in this matchup. Absolutely crazy stuff there. Valkyrie ready to go if Apostle needs some emergency healing or DPS. As they come through the corridor, this is going to be a good spot, I think, for St. Clair. And that's a quick pick so far. Strider finding Big Hug. And now, not enough damage done to get that execute, but the Diva Bomb's going to come out. The only casualty is a mere turret. And it seems like Baleable and Strider are going to be able to just clean up house here. Charging through. In fact, okay, forcing the sleep onto Baleable. But Prince Wada's right there. You're not going to get any cheap shots on our Torb. And that attack just did not go anywhere.
It looks like St. Clair has learned from their past mistakes on Rialto. They really are improving their gameplay constantly. Prince Wada gets stunned and taken out just as I'm talking about that. But it looks like Seymour's going to try to save the day with a Diva ult. Too little, too late. Dad gets the Deadeye on Seymour and Strider.
Gosh, that's actually really brutal. It's only Justin and Baleable versus the world. That's not going to be the case. Even if you have your ulti, not going to happen.
And it looks like Augustana is going to cap this point unless Prince Wada can touch. It is contested 1 meter away. Apostle hiding, just trying to heal and damage boost his tanks. Seymour gets taken out. Layden uses Death Blossom and takes out Prince Wada. And it looks like they're still... Oh, they capped the point.
Just enough. Just right as you're saying that, they just sneak it. And they're going to be able to get themselves some extra time on the clock. Thank goodness for them, because that was down to like 30 seconds left. St. Clair getting extremely close at making the full hold a possibility. But eventually does get shut down.
Close, but no cigar.
Exactly. Wada does have Shatter available, however, if he can possibly find the flank, maybe jump down from above and slam, or just hang on to it. No need to get super aggressive just yet. He's going to contest this cart. Looking for the shot. There is Big Hug's down, which means this is just going to be everybody getting mowed over. And this one is going to be sent packing. In fact, yeah, they just opt to jump off the cliff so they can all respawn together. Do not blame them in the slightest. Solid job there. Big Hug just got blown up extremely quickly, and now you have no shield to block a Shatter. And the only thing, or one of the things about these streets phase, it's a long, narrow corridor. It's the perfect spot for a Shatter.
Very scary spot as well if you have any tanks or any heroes with a boop ability. Being forced so close to that river kind of sucks for that, but it looks like Baleable gonna try to get a pick right here. Seymour diving in, and it looks like Dad's gonna use his Deadeye. Didn't seem to get anybody. Seymour boops him off into the water just as I was talking about that. And Prince Wada is gonna take a blackout.
Yeah, St. Clair should be able to win this fight even without using any additional resources. They very well might look for it. And that's going to be the Shatter from Wada. Everybody has dropped. Strider just went on a carpet bombing spree right there. Like a dang fighter jet, and takes everybody down.
I think he got like 4 kills there? That was crazy.
With like one fell swoop, he picked up 3 or 4, yeah.
Wow. So smooth too, like with Echo, watching any Echo plays, it just looks like effortless. But actually playing Echo is a lot more difficult than it looks.
And there goes 2 right before the team fight even gets the opportunity to begin. Seymour finding Harvicle, and now the rest of the Augustana squad seem like they are falling. going to take to the river once again, try and get one more push out of this.
Augustana needs a touch in this last 30 seconds here, or face being pit up against St. Clair next round with only 1 point for them to push.
A small victory for Superb so far. Here comes the Diva Bomb. Is it going to find anybody? Not this time. However, Prince Wada kind of left himself out to dry, and that was actually an interesting way to dodge the Shatter. I've never seen that done before. Strider getting clutch and actually turning this into a sound barrier to give that extra bit of help. Strider also has, or not Strider, of course, he's the one who actually ulted in the first place, but what about Layden? Is he going to be able to get the Death Blossom off? Gets some damage and finally takes down Strider. Apostle trying to keep this fight going. The Shatter comes out from Prince Wada. Was that enough to turn it around? It very well might have been.
My goodness.
It's still like a 3-on-3 on the cart. Wada stuck with the shield up and getting slept. Now he's going to probably get jumped on. Seymour trying to get himself back in the mech, back in the fight, chasing down Layden. Going point blank with the shotguns is always a scary task. But actually, Augustana finding themselves a little bit of footing here. They're able to get all of their members back for the most part. One more just on the way. And Strider down. Now, Harvigal's the first one to go down. The emergency tracer coming out here from Bailable to make sure that he can actually contest with it, get himself into the fight as fast as possible. Layden peppering away. Bailable right there with him. Goes down before he even has the opportunity to rewind. Another bomb coming out here from Seymour, but it's not going to find its mark. Where is this nano boost going? I think it went right onto Wada as he finds the Shatter, and it will actually wrap up this fight.
Wow, that was back and forth for about 2 minutes there. Just at the end, the last 30 seconds to the overtime even. Just crazy back and forth. Just as you thought St. Clair was going to win, Augustana comes back, finds their footing with 4 or 5 people around the cart. And then St. Clair is like, nope, can't find your footing here, nope. And pushes him off the cart, and Dad goes for the Deadeye, gets shattered, and the fight ends. Like, that was beautiful, for lack of a better word.
It flip-flopped like 3 to 4 times in that fight. It's what I like to see. That was extremely hard to keep track of, but we love those kind of fights. Absolute skirmish heavy. And now we get to see if St. Clair can do it better. 1 point and maybe about just under halfway to the second checkpoint in order for them to win game number 2 and win this series, because UCEA is only best of 3.
Very true. Augustana needs to have a rock-solid defense here to stop St. Clair, or the series will go to St. Clair.
Looks like this is basically the main spot of contention just as they're rounding the corner. I know a lot of scrub lords in my solo queue games like to sit up here and just get instantly bodied, but that's why these guys are here for collegiate varsity level Overwatch competition and not my bronze solo queue games.
Looks like Seymour dove right up to the top of the balcony here, trying to get an early pick, but Augustana is holding very, very close together. They do have a Symmetra, so Prince Wada needs to watch out for that. Because if she gets high charge, then it's very difficult to break that defense.
Would absolutely be on fire as we see St. Clair's struggling a little bit. That's a solid purple once again coming out here from Yasin. Can they make it into an elimination? Not quite. Layden barely going to hang on for dear life as Prince Wada looks to move forward, but actually Bailable gets caught. Dad going to secure the kill onto him. And it's going to be Blackout popping the rally, so maybe going to delay for a brief second while we wait for that armor to just time out. But actually Strider looking to get involved nice and quick, but goes down extremely quickly. That ult is going to be for naught in that situation. Gets stunned up and gets out of dodge right in time for a huge shatter from Prince Wada, I believe. Makes it work. The nano boost goes through. This is going to be Layden's ult, but it's not going to be enough. St. Clair going to win this fight.
Wow, Bailable just picking off the last of their backline there, making sure nobody's left behind, trying to touch last second. Augustana does regroup, though. They might be able to hold this point. And looks like Blackout and Layden both get taken early here, but Dad says no and takes 2 of St. Clair's own. However, Baleable does manage to get Harvicle, and Strider manages to get Big Hug. Superb taking out Baleable. Strider just trying to mow down these tanks here. Takes out the Baby Diva, but gets taken out himself.
That's always a scary part as Baleable on the Tracer. If you get hit by that stun grenade, you are a sitting duck and you do not have much health. St. Clair are going to be forced to regroup almost at that first checkpoint, but gonna need a breather to wait for Seymour and Baleable to come back up.
They do have a minute 45 to push this next few meters, so they do have a bit of an advantage here. However, it looks like Augustana is going to try to take a little bit more ground, hold a little bit further up to give themselves that space, that area to work with. Strider transforms into Diva for this ult here. I think they're going to try some sort of ult combination.
Oh.
Huge shatter from Prince Wada.
Oh my
that covered
goodness.
like 5 people. They're just an absolute massacre from St. Clair. They're going to try their best to push this point, get the Diva off, and they take her out. And it looks like they're going to take point number 1.
That was absolutely brutal. They were kind of forced into the corridor, and I mean, it was all lined up for Wada, almost like it was a Streets phase right here. Wada must just love this map if it's the way it is. Oh, they're going to battle on the boat, but Wada barely going to hang on. I thought they were both going into the river, to be completely honest with you. We just see Baleable being an absolute nuisance to the support line of Augustana, and it's now or never for them. They got a hold for 3 minutes, and that is going to be another absolutely fantastic from St. Clair, from Prince Wada to find that shot. The Diva Bomb coming up from Superb is not going to be enough. In fact, I think Strider will take one for himself. Thank you very much. And we are right on the doorstep.
Wow. Augustana is staggered out extremely far here. St. Clair is holding the payload as hard as they can. Augustana needs to regroup and touch now, but it looks like it's going to go to St. Clair. St. Clair wins the series.
Sure enough, going to take it in 2-0 fashion. It just seems St. Clair is on another level here on this map in particular. The shatters from Prince Wada were absolutely ridiculous. This is going to be the one on their last attack. They all gathered in, and there's no chance. Nobody had a shield. You can't defense matrix that one, and you're just going to get completely destroyed. Allowed for everybody from St. Clair to just follow up and melt the Augustana opposition.
Those were some beautiful shatters from Prince Wada, making sure that his team could really cap that first point, not wasting time, getting a pick here or there, just shatter them all and take them all out at once.
That's a fantastic job. Fantastic there for the Saints as well, picking this one up in 2-0 fashion. I'm just double checking to make sure that's in fact the case. I see everybody's still in lobby, so I'm not 100% sure what's happening there. But in the past, UCEA Overwatch, of course, was best of 3. But is there anything, like, other than the shatters from Wada, was there anything on the side of the Augustana Vikings that, like, seemed out of place, or it just all lined up for St. Clair in the end?
I think it all just lined up for St. Clair right in the end. There was a few moments where Augustana started popping off ultimates, and they were getting pick after pick, but then St. Clair just came back, and in the end, they just held a little bit better.
Okay, and sure enough, yeah, that is going to be it. It looks like they're actually going to be scrimming a little bit after the fact, so that's it. So St. Clair are going to be able to take this one in a quick 2-0 fashion. We'll be hopping out here as they do their practice, but nonetheless, just 2 fantastic rounds there from St. Clair. The first game was a bit of a back and forth, of course, like we saw like a bit earlier. The first round, St. Clair favored. Second round, I would argue that it was actually Augustana favored. And then round 3 of game number 1, an absolute back and forth, but St. Clair take it in the end. And then Rialto was just all St. Clair. It felt like a quick moment of brilliance. I loved that last little team fight at the end of Rialto's push, where it felt like it was never a proper 6v6. It was always like a 4-on-3 or like something along those lines. Everybody trying to run back to the point. But St. Clair going to take that one in rather quick fashion. Any last words about the matchup?
Nothing too much. I think it was short and sweet, but St. Clair did come out victorious, so congratulations to St. Clair, and Augustana and St. Clair looks like they're going to scrim for a bit, so good luck to everybody scrimming tonight.
Absolutely. Now, in regards to St. Clair Saints action, there are still, of course, plenty more to follow up with later on in this week. Actually, tomorrow, I know I've been kind of hyping this one up a little bit this week for this League of Legends OPSC match, as this is going to be, of course, St. Clair Saints versus the University of Windsor. The first time the two Windsor teams get to go head-to-head in league competition. Looking forward to seeing how that one turns out. Then Friday and Saturday, we've got Rainbow Six Siege twice. We got the Collegiate R6 playoffs. That's going to be, I think, week number 2 of that, coming up Friday at 8:30. And Saturday, that match starts at 3 o'clock. But there's also Call of Duty on Saturday. Some TESPA action continues. And then, wait, what is this? There's nothing on Sunday? I get a day off? What is this? We got Rocket League action on Monday at 8 o'clock as we move into November. Oh, God, it's November already, eh?
Oh, no.
Christmas is around the corner. Just remember that.
Oh, no.
Yikes.
Already.
But with that, I think we'll be closing up very shortly. Would you like to shout out our sponsors?
For sure. So special thanks to St. Clair College Alumni Association, PC Outlet, the Zeckelman School of Business and IT, Tim Hortons, and St. Clair SRC.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Amanda, once again for commentating some Overwatch with me here today. Always a pleasure having you on. Be sure to follow Amanda on the Twitter linked below.
Thank you. And be sure to check out Dan, broadcasting every day.
You know where to find me, except Sunday, finally.
Except for Sunday.
Yeah. But yeah, you know where to find me, whether it's on Twitter or whether it's right here on the Saints stream. But with that, we shall call it a night. Thank you all for tuning in. Of course, it's always a pleasure having these matches for you every day. And thank you for supporting your classmates, your friends, your family in their esports endeavors. Have a good night, everyone.